Sorry. All right. Today on Don's Trains, we're gonna go over the new Marx, Ameritrains. Eventually, it became Joe's Trains. I don't actually have anything from that era. Most everything I collected with this kind of stuff was stuff that would go along with the 3/16 scale stuff. I didn't do the 8-inch stuff or anything like that. Which, if you are in the that earlier more toy-like Marx stuff, you really can't go wrong with some of that because they added a lot of great stuff. And they added a lot of good stuff for the 3/16. There's only one weird little snag you'll run into with the 3/16 stuff is, as you can see, I put a original Pennsylvania boxcar here, and here's a one of the Erie Lackawanna ones they produced. As you can see, they're a little bit shorter, and they're also taller. You don't notice the height as much, but you definitely mention the length. Why they made the scale boxcars like that, I don't know. If you're just running one or the other behind a train, it's fine, but when you mix them, it does look a little weird. But again, no idea why they did that. I do have quite a few of the boxcars, though. We'll go. Here's a Erie Lackawanna. I think that was one of the later ones. Rio Grande, that was a later one. The Sinclair oil was always a favorite of mine. I actually got 2 of those. This one came with some little barrels. Western Pacific is an interesting one. I think they made 4 different road numbers on them, and you get them in this prototypical orange. You could also get them in a blue. I don't know if blue is a prototype color for these or not. And then you can also get them in a white that came with a special set with all whited out cars. But yeah, the lithography on these is really nice. They put a lot of effort into them. Later on, they started doing this kind of a weird gimmick thing. You'll see these 2 reading cards, and you get them in brown or green. They started putting these out in sets of 4, grouped together by region. Western railroads, southern railroads, things like that. And always one of the cars in this set is technically there'd only really be 3, but there would be a variation of one. I got both variations of the reading car. Here's the Pittsburgh paints, another early one. Indy car, another early one also. Let's see here. Union Pacific, I think, was an early one before they went to the sets. This one's actually interesting too. This is something that you'll see on UP stuff. One side says Road of the Streamliners, and the other side says Serves All the West. So it's actually a cited car, which is interesting, and it is accurate. UP did do that, but it is interesting. You don't see that as often with stuff as you would think. And then here's 2 cars that you don't really see come up for sale too often. The later stuff. The Grand Trunk Western in gray and brown. And then this one here is kind of a harder one to find also. The Burlington stock car. And I believe the only... this one started out as a stock car. I think later on they did release a solid-sided one. But I think it's also the only stock car they released on that was purposefully a stock car. Later on, they started offering some of these where they would just knock the slats in them and sell them. I guess it was just a way to finish selling out bodies that they hadn't really done anything with yet. But as you can see, some of these with the shapes of things don't really lend themselves to that slatting. So some of the cars they slatted do look a little goofy. And this here is the only reefer they made. This milk car, it came with little milk jugs. They did definitely make a lot more box cars than this. I'd probably say there's another at least 8 to 10 more box cars, if not more. Some of them are really hard to find. But yeah, that is the box cars out of the newer Marx stuff.